Food. Really good one.
Okay, well, Jay Rayner has been to meet a growing group of people who insist you can tuck into both at the same time.
For the last couple of years, a quiet revolution has been taking place in kitchens across the country. It's a call to arms for those tired of what they see as the blandness of high street restaurants. And their solution is pretty simple. Invite 30 complete strangers to your house, serve them a menu of home cooking, and charge them for the pleasure. And there's even room for seconds. And tonight, I'm dining at the two-bed flat of Kirsten Rogers. It's one of an estimated 150 supper clubs across the country, which Kirsten hosts under the pseudonym Ms. Marmite Lover.
Each menu I do is different, so I do a lot of research. Then there's the actual night when you're serving, then there's clearing up, laundry, ironing.
And this isn't like having a few friends for dinner. Kirsten's lounge transforms into a makeshift restaurant for 32 people. What can the customers of your supper club get here that they can't get in a normal restaurant?
I think it's a different way of dining. For a start, they get to meet other people. They sit on large mixed tables. That's very different. A normal restaurant, you're not supposed to talk to anybody else. I'm not a trained chef, so I think I have quite an outsider's view on food. I've served thematic meals like flower menus, edible flowers with stuffed tulips. I did a salt menu, a different kind of salt for each course, and cooking on salt blocks. I think people are more likely to come here and be open to food, whereas they may not go to a conventional restaurant. I think I have a different audience.
I like the idea of them. It's an intimate thing. It's not a commercialised restaurant thing. It's interesting.
I mean, the quality of the food that we've had has been fantastic, and you're not paying like restaurant prices.
Well, you go to a lot of restaurants during the year, but generally, how many of them do you actually remember? Whereas you can probably remember supper clubs quite easily.
It feels like you're with friends and having a good night. It feels like a wedding.
Shows like Come Dine With Me may have popularised the idea of the supper club, but there is another influence from much further afield. In Cuba, private restaurants or paladares run from family homes have been popular for decades. While paladares might be a staple of Cuban dining, over here British supper clubs revel in the fact that they're an alternative to the mainstream. But all that could be about to change because the supper club is being dragged decidedly upmarket. This is Pierre Kaufmann, one of the country's most decorated chefs. He and his partner Claire have stirred up the culinary community by launching a supper club, not from their front room, but from their Knightsbridge restaurant. You're not a house out in the suburbs. Can you really have a dinner party in a restaurant like this?
I think so.
Yes, we can do that because it's where I spend most of my time here. I'll start at 8 o'clock, finish at 11 o'clock. And so it's my house, it's just about cooking food for different people and enjoying it at the end.
Pierre is one of several top chefs who've adopted the supper club setup, but for Kirsten, taking supper clubs out of the home is a move in the wrong direction.
I think they all are jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, it's a compliment. They're stealing our clothes. I don't think it's going to be the same experience. However, if Pierre wants to do swapsies with me, I'll eat at his and he can eat at mine. I'd be up for that.
Supper clubs, whether posh like Pierre's or more homely like Kirsten's here, are a world away from the kind of restaurants I normally review, but they're clearly bringing a dose of informality to British dining. As far as I'm concerned, that has to be a good thing.
Well, I tell you, it's certainly buzzing.